Richard Berry. Richard Berry, Jr., April 11, 1935 to January 23, 1997, was an American singer, songwriter, and musician who performed with many Los Angeles doo-wop and close harmony groups in the 1950s, including the Flairs and the Robins. He is best known as the composer and original performer of the rock standard Louie Louie. The song became a hit for the Kingsmen and others, and it is one of the most recorded songs of all time. However, Berry received little financial benefit for writing it until the 1980s, having signed away his rights to the song in 1959. In the same year, he wrote and released Have Love, Will Travel, which has been recorded by many other artists. One Early Life. Berry was born in Extension, south of Monroe, Louisiana, and moved with his family to Los Angeles as a baby. As a child, he suffered a hip injury and had to walk on crutches until he was 6. His first instrument was the ukulele, which he learned when attending a summer camp for crippled children. Berry attended Jefferson High School in Los Angeles, and with many other pupils practiced singing vocal harmonies in the corridors. 2 Musical career. He began singing and playing in local doo-wop groups, recording with a number of them including the Penguins, the Cadets and the Chimes, the Crowns, the Five Hearts, the Hunters, the Rams, the Whips, and the Dreamers, an otherwise all-female quartet from Fremont High. He then joined the Flairs, who also recorded as the Debonaires and the Flamingos, in 1953. 3 with the Flairs. The Flairs' 1953 record She Wants to Rock on Modern Records featured Berry's bass vocals, and was an early production by Leiber and Stoller. A few months later, when the producers needed a bass voice for the Robins' Riot in Cell Block No. 9 on Spark Records, they recruited Berry to provide the menacing lead vocal on the song, uncredited because he was contracted to Modern. The Robins later split. 3 members remained with the Robins and 2 went to New York with Leiber and Stoller to form the Coasters. The Robins continued to record, with 2 new members, in California for other labels, including Whippet, Lavender, RV, and others. Berry's voice was used at Modern, again uncredited, as the counterpoint to Etta James on her first record and big hit The Wallflower, Dance With Me, Henry, and several of its less successful follow-ups. Berry also recorded with several other groups on the Modern and Flair labels, including Arthur Lee May and the Crowns, and the Dreamers, who later became the Blossoms. By the end of 1954, Berry left the Flairs to form his own group, the Pharaohs, as well as continued to work with other groups as a singer and songwriter. For Louie Louie. One of the groups Berry played with after leaving the Flairs was Rick Rillera and the Rhythm Rockers, a Latin and R&B group. In 1955, Berry was inspired to write Louie Louie, a calypso-style song, based on the Rhythm Rockers' version of Rene Touzet's El Loco Cha-Cha, as well as influenced by Chuck Berry's Havana Moon. Berry also stated he had Frank Sinatra's One for My Baby in mind when writing the lyrics. One night waiting backstage at the Harmony Club Ballroom, Berry took the rhythm of El Loco Cha-Cha and began to add lyrics, writing them on toilet paper. Richard Berry and the Pharaohs recorded and released the song as the B-side to his cover of You Are My Sunshine on Flip Records in 1957. It became a minor regional hit, selling 130,000 copies. It was re-released as an A-side, and when the group toured the Pacific Northwest, several local R&B bands began to adopt the song and established its popularity. Louie Louie finally became a major hit when the Kingsmen's raucous version, with little trace of its calypso-like origins other than in its lyrics, became a national and international hit in 1963. 6. Paul Revere and the Raiders also recorded the tune in the same studio the week after the Kingsmen, but their version was not a hit. The nearly unintelligible and innocuous lyrics were widely misinterpreted as obscene, and the song was banned by radio stations and even investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The song has been recorded over 1,000 times. However, Barry received little financial reward for its success for many years, having sold the copyright for $750 in 1959 to pay for his wedding. Barry said in 1993 everybody sold their songs in those days. I never was bitter with the record companies. They provided a vehicle for 5 young black dudes to make a record. Barry continued to write and record into the early 1960s, including Have Love, Will Travel, which later became a local hit for the Sonics, but with little commercial success, and also continued as a performer. Other songs included Crazy Lover, recorded by the Rollins Band, and Oh, Get Out of the Car, covered by the Traineers. Research, Vitor, Hugo, Lizardi, Leonardi. Hello friend. I am a big music lover, and because I thought that without music I would be nothing in this life, I created this channel. The soul is the root of music, and in my humble view, everything we hear today of good music is related to the soul. If you liked it, leave your like and subscribe to the channel of this force so that new content like this can be produced. Thank you very much.